The Galactic Council chamber had never been quiet. For thousands of years, it was a place of noise. Different species spoke at the same time. Lights flashed in strange colors. Screens floated in the air, showing stars, planets, and war reports. Silence did not exist here until the humans arrived. The main screen changed without warning. One moment, it showed empty space. The next moment, space folded in on itself. Bright lines of light twisted and disappeared. Ships appeared. Not one, not 10,000th. They arrived together in perfect order. No ship was out of place. No engines flared wildly. They did not rush forward or spread out. They simply stopped. The entire chamber fell silent. High Observer Trellix, a being older than most civilizations, leaned closer to the screen. Its many eyes widened. Sensors flooded the chamber with alerts. Power readings climbed higher and higher, then stopped only because the sensors could not measure further. These ships, Trellix whispered. They are holding back. That made the silence worse. Inside the flagship UN's Resolute, Admiral Jonathan Reeves stood with his hands behind his back. He did not raise his voice. He did not smile. He watched the alien fleet ahead of him with calm, steady eyes. Fleet status, he said. All ships in position, a young officer replied. Weapons cold. Shields active. No deviations. Reeves nodded once. This was first contact. The galaxy had invited humanity to speak. Many believed humans would come with diplomats and hope. Humans had come with discipline. Below the fleets, on the surface of a neutral desert world, Earth's army began to deploy. Dropships cut through the sky like falling stars. They landed softly, almost gently, on the sand. Ramps lowered. Soldiers marched out in lines so straight they looked drawn by machines. General Marcus Hawley stepped onto the ground last. His boots touched alien soil, and he paused for 1 second. He looked around. Strange towers rose in the distance. Alien observers watched from behind energy shields. Drones floated in the air, recording everything. Balhay raised his hand. 10,000 soldiers stopped moving at the exact same moment. No orders were shouted. No signals flashed. They just stopped. Alien commanders watched in disbelief. Many armies used fear to control soldiers. Others used implants or drugs. Humans used trust and training. In the council chamber, Ambassador Eli Carter stood alone on a circular platform. He wore a simple uniform. No armor, no weapons. We come in peace, Carter said calmly, but we do not come unprepared. Some alien leaders shifted in their seats. Others made low, angry sounds. One of them, a tall, armored being named Kurtan, spoke loudly. You bring an army to a meeting of words, Kurthana said. Is this how humans show respect? Carter did not raise his voice. This is how humans show honesty, he replied. Sensors in the chamber suddenly flared red. A small alien fleet broke formation. Weapons powered up. It is only a test, Kurthon said. Let us see how humans react to pressure. On the planet below, warning signals reached General Hale. He did not look surprised. Defensive posture, Hale said quietly. The soldiers moved instantly. Shields activated. Weapons were raised but not fired. The alien fleet opened fire. Energy beams struck human armor. Explosions filled the air. Dust rose from the ground. When the smoke cleared, the human soldiers were still standing. Not one had fallen alien weapons, had failed to break through. Hale raised his hand again. The soldiers did not advance. They did not chase. They aimed. A single coordinated burst followed. Not wildfire. Not rage. Precision. Alien ships lost power. Weapons shut down. Engines went dark. They drifted helplessly in space. The attack had lasted less than 1 minute. In the council chamber, no one spoke. Corthan's voice was gone. High Observer Trellix slowly lowered itself into its seat. It searched ancient memory, old wars, lost empires. Nothing compared to this. These humans, Trellix said softly. They did not react with fear. No, another elder replied. They reacted with control. On the flagship, Admiral Reeves received the report. Threat neutralized, the officer said. No human casualties. Reeves closed his eyes for 1 second. Then he opened them. Hold position, he said. No pursuit. The order confused some aliens. Why would a powerful species stop? On the ground, General Hawley lowered his hand. The soldiers relaxed but did not break formation. They waited dot across the galaxy. Data spread faster than light. Civilizations watched the recordings. Analysts replayed every second. The way humans moved. The way they waited. The way they stopped. An ancient alien, historian, watching from a distant world, whispered a word no one had used in a very long time. Gods! And in that moment, the universe understood something terrifying and true. Humanity had not come to beg for a place among the stars. They had come to show they already belonged. And the galaxy would never be the same again. The silence did not end when the weapons stopped. Across the Galactic Council chamber, alien leaders stared at the frozen images on their screens. Human soldiers still stood on the desert world below, calm and unmoving. Their ships remained in formation, not chasing the disabled alien fleet, not celebrating. They simply waited. High Observer Trellix broke the silence first. The humans had the advantage, Trellix said slowly, and they chose restraint. Some council members shifted in discomfort. Restraint was not a sign of weakness. It was often worse. Ambassador Eli Carter remained standing on the central platform. He did not look proud. He did not look angry. This was not an attack, Carter said. It was a mistake. Corthan, the armored commander who had ordered the test, spoke again. His voice was lower now. You responded with force. We responded with control, Kata replied. There is a difference. Far above the planet, repaired drones from the alien fleet drifted toward their powerless ships. Humans allowed it. No locks were placed. No threats were made. That confused the galaxy more than the weapons had. On the surface, General Marcus Hawley walked slowly along the front line of his soldiers. He stopped near Sergeant Daniel Brooks, a young man whose armor still carried marks from the attack. You good? Hawley asked. Yes, sir, Brooks replied. No damage, nonne. Sir, Ale, nove. Good. Stay sharp. The soldiers remained silent, their faces calm behind clear visors. They were ready, but not eager. Dodaline observers studied them closely. They expected fear, pride, or anger. They saw none of it. In the council chamber, private channels opened. Alien leaders argued among themselves. Tayar hiding something. No species builds an army like this without reason. They planned for war long before meeting. U.S. High Observer Trellix listened, but did not speak. Trellix's species had survived 3 galactic collapses. It had seen conquerors and destroyers. Humans were different. They fight like they expect to lose everything, Trellix finally said, and that makes them dangerous. Corthan did not agree. They are still young, Corthan said. Their history is full of conflict. They will break. Like the others, Trellix turned its many eyes toward Corthan. You tested them once, Trellix said, and failed. Corthan remained silent. On the flagship, Uns Resolute, Admiral Jonathan Reeves watched the council feed. He could read fear even across alien faces. "They will test us again," Reeves said. Captain Laura Mitchell, standing beside him, nodded. "They always do." Reeves clasped his hands behind his back. "We hold," he said. "No escalation." Mitchell hesitated. "Sir, what if they push harder?" Reeves did not answer immediately. "Then we show them why we prepared," he said. Back in the council chamber, a new proposal emerged. A joint inspection. Alien scientists wanted to examine human armor, ships, and weapons. Officially, it was for understanding. Unofficially, it was for weakness. Ambassador Carter accepted. "Transparency builds trust," he said. Many humans watching the broadcast were confused. Why show secrets? What the galaxy did not understand was simple. These were not secrets. Human technology was not powerful because it was hidden. It was powerful because it was refined. On the planet below, alien inspection teams approached human soldiers. Scanners ran across armor plates. Readings returned impossible results. Materials layered within materials. Systems backed by systems. Redundancy everywhere. No single failure point. One alien engineer whispered, "They scanned human weapons." "That's not simple. Design, heavy, reliable. These are not elegant," the engineer said. "No," another replied. "They are unstoppable." One alien attempted to access a human rifle's control system. The weapon locked itself, then shut down, then erased its own data. The alien stepped back in, fear. "These weapons do not want to be stolen," it said. A human technician nearby spoke calmly. "They're not weapons," she said. "They're tools. And tools stay with their owners." As inspections continued, the true shock came from the ships. Human vessels were not the fastest, not the largest. They were balanced. Every ship could fight. Every ship could repair others. Every ship could command. No single leader. No single failure. This was not an Empire's fleet. It was a survival fleet. High Observer Trellix finally understood. "These humans," Trellix said quietly, "did not build their army to rule the galaxy." "Then why?" another council member asked. Trellix looked at the stars on the screen. "Because something scared them," Trellix said. The chamber fell silent again. On Earth, far away, old warnings sat locked in deep archives. Names long forgotten, battles never spoken aloud. Humanity had learned a hard lesson. Early in its history, peace was fragile, and survival belonged to those who prepared. Back on the planet, General Hale received a quiet message from Admiral Reeves' hold position. "Phase 1 complete." Hale looked out at the alien observers. They were no longer watching with curiosity. They were watching with fear. And fear, Hale knew, made beings careless. The galaxy had made its first mistake by underestimating humanity. It would not be the last. Fear moved faster than any ship. Across the galaxy, recordings of the first contact spread through data networks. Civilizations paused wars. Fleets stopped mid-flight. Leaders watched the same moments again and again. The calm human soldiers, the silent ships, the way power was used, then stopped. High Observer Trellix called for a restricted council session. Only the oldest and most powerful species were allowed to attend. "This meeting changes everything," Trellix said. "We must understand the humans now." Ambassador Eli Carter stood before them again. He looked tired, but steady. "You saw our army," Carter said, "but you did not ask why it exists." One council member spoke. "All armies exist for war." Carter shook his head slowly. "Ours exists to prevent it. That answer confused them. On the surface of the neutral world, General Marcus Halley received new orders. Human engineers and medics were to deploy. Mobile structures unfolded from ships and formed small bases in hours. Hospitals, power stations, communication hubs. Dalian observers watched in disbelief. These are not military structures, one alien analyst said. They are, another replied. They are military support for long survival. Human soldiers guarded doctors. Engineers worked beside armed units. Everything moved with quiet purpose. Like in space, Admiral Jonathan Reeves opened sealed files for the Council. These records were classified on Earth for decades. Sai, we are sharing them now, because secrets create fear. Holograms filled the chamber. Images of ruined human cities, burned landscapes, old wars, nuclear fire. Silent gravis, our species nearly destroyed itself, Reeves continued. More than once. The Council watched in stunned silence. We learned a lesson, Reeves said. Power without control ends everything. Another image appeared. Human fleets training against unknown threats. Simulated enemies larger than anything the galaxy had recorded. Who are they fighting? Corthon asked. Reeves looked directly at him. Not you. That answer chilled the room on the planet, Sergeant. Daniel Brooks watched alien children peek from behind energy barriers. They looked at human soldiers with fear, then curiosity. A small alien child stepped forward. Brooks lowered his weapon and knelt. He slowly removed his helmet. The child stared at his face. Human. Soft skin. 2 A's. Calm breath. Brooks smiled. The child made a soft sound and ran back to its group. Alien observers recorded the moment. Not a command. Not a threat. Choice. Back in the Council chamber, Trellix reviewed more data. Human supply chains could support armies for years without outside help. Their ships carried farms, factories, and entire cities inside armored shells. They did not build a war force, Trellix realized. They built a moving civilization. Kurthon spoke again, but his voice lacked confidence. No species prepares like this unless they expect extinction. That is correct, Reeves replied. The chamber reacted with alarm. What do you know? Another leader demanded. Reeves hesitated. Then he spoke. There is something beyond our borders, he said. Something ancient. Something that consumes worlds. Silence returned. We call them the Devourers, Reeves continued. They erase civilizations, not conquer, not rule. They feed. Carter stepped forward. Humanity discovered evidence of them long before reaching the stars, he said. Ruins, signals, dead systems. We did not panic, Reeves added. We prepared. The Council exchanged fearful looks. Why did you not warn us? Trellix asked. Reeves answered honestly. You would not have believed us, and we were not ready to lead. That answer carried weight. On the surface, General Halley watched alien military units lower their weapons. Not ordered, not demanded. They simply did it. Fear had turned into respect. A council vote was called not to attack, not to isolate, to observe. Humanity would be watched closely. When the vote ended, Trellix spoke one final time. You have not shown us an army, Trellix said. You have shown us a shield. Carter nodded. That is what we intended. As human fleets prepared to hold position, distant sensors picked up something new. Signet. Ancient. Massive. Moving toward known space. Admiral Reeves closed his eyes briefly. They're closer than expected, he said. General Halley received the alert on the ground. He looked at the sky. So, Halley said quietly, it beckons. The humans did not move in panic. They did not celebrate Tay. Prepared, and for the first time in galactic history, the universe understood the truth. Earth's army was not built to shock the galaxy. It was built to save it. The signal was old. That was the first thing human systems confirmed. It did not come with a warning or a message. It was not meant to be heard. It moved through space like a shadow, bending energy around it, leaving dead silence behind. Admiral Jonathan Reeves stared at the data stream on the bridge of the UN's Resolute. This signal is not active communication. Saith. It's a footprint. Captain Laura Mitchell felt a chill. A footprint? Of what? Something very large, Reeves replied. And very close. The information was shared with the Galactic Council within minutes. Panic followed instantly. That region is empty space, one council member shouted. Nothing lives there. It was empty, Reeves corrected. Before they passed through, High Observer Trellix watched the signal carefully. Ancient memories stirred. My people recorded something like this once. Trellix said slowly. Millions of cycles ago, entire star systems went dark. Kurthan's armor plates tightened. You said this threat was distant. Reeves did not look away from the screen. It was, he said, until it wasn't. On the surface of the neutral world, alarms echoed across alien observation zones. Military units scrambled. Shields activated. Fleets shifted positions in confusion. Human soldiers did not move. General Marcus Halle stood among his troops, calm as ever. Level 3 readiness, Halle said. No running. No southing. The soldiers adjusted positions smoothly. Defensive lines formed. Medical units moved closer to shelters. Engineers reinforced structures. Everything had been practiced. Alien commanders watched in disbelief. They're acting like this is normal, one alien officer whispered. It is, another replied. For them. Back in the council chamber, arguments broke out. We must retreat. We must strike first. We cannot fight something we do not understand. Ambassador Eli Carter raised his hand. The room slowly quieted. Humanity understands fear, Carter said. We lived with it for centuries. Fear of ourselves. Fear of extinction. He looked around the chamber. We survived by facing it. Reeves activated another display. Images appeared destroyed alien worlds, broken moons. Star systems stripped of life. These are not rumors, Reeves said. These are confirmed remains. The council gasped. The Devourers do not negotiate, Reeves continued. They do not warn. They arrive, consume, and move on. Kurthan spoke quietly now. And you believe you can stop them? Reeves turned. No, he said honestly. We believe we can slow them. And by time. That answer shook the room. Time for what?
Trellix asked.
Reeves answered. For everyone else to survive. On Earth's network, ancient protocols activated. Fleets across human space began moving. Not rusing. Not panicking. Coordinating. Humanity had prepared for this moment long before meeting the galaxy. On the neutral world, Sergeant Daniel Brooks watched alien civilians being guided into shelters. Human medics assisted without question. Analia Elda looked at Brooks. Why help us? The elder asked. You owe us nothing, Brooks answered simply. We don't leave people behind. That sentence spread across alien networks. It became a symbol. Bike in space. Long-range sensors finally caught the first visual. Of darkness against the stars. Not a ship. Not a fleet. A moving void. Stars dimmed near it. Energy readings collapsed. Drones sent toward it vanished without signals. The Devourers had arrived. Fear swept through the council chamber. Some leaders demanded evacuation. Others demanded surrender to humanity's command. High Observer Trellix rose slowly. For the first time, Trellix said, "We face something that does not fear us." Trellix turned toward Reeves. And for the first time, Trellix continued, "We face it alongside a species that planned for this." Reeves nodded once. "We will form a defensive line here," Reeves said. "Not because it is perfect, because it buys time." "For whom?" Kurthon asked. "For the children," Reeves replied. "For the future." The council fell silent on Tigroon. General Hale received the final order. Phase 2 authorized. Galactic coordination begins. Hale looked at his soldiers. "You trained for this," he sighed calmly. "Not for glory. Not for conquest." The soldiers listened. "For survival," Hale finished. Human fleets began to move not forward, not backward, sideways. Positioning themselves between the Devourers and inhabited space. Alien commanders stared at the tactical maps. "They're placing themselves in the path," one said. "They're shielding us," another whispered. Admiral Reeves watched the stars darken. "Ahead. This is where we stand," he said. The Devourers continued their silent advance. The universe held its breath. And for the first time in its long history, the galaxy did not freeze in fear. It stood behind humanity. The Devourers did not slow down. They moved through space like a living shadow, swallowing light and energy. Sensors struggled to track them. Every reading changed by the second. Admiral Jonathan Reeves stood on the bridge of the UN's Resolute. The stars ahead looked wrong, as if the universe itself was being erased. "All fleets," Reeves said calmly. "Hold formation." Human ships spread into a wide defensive arc. They did not charge. Each ship took its place like part of a single mind. Alien fleets gathered behind them. Some ships shook with fear. Others powered weapons without orders. Human vessels sent one clear message across all channels. "Do not advance." Stybane, US High Observer Trellix, watched from the Council relay ship. "They are not using us as support," Trellix said quietly. "They are protecting us." Kurthon clenched his fists. Why would they do this? Because humanity remembered extinction. The Devourers reached weapons range. Without warning, space twisted. Human forward drones vanished instantly. "Contact confirmed," a sensor officer reported. "No standard weapons effective." Reeves nodded. "Begin Phase 2. Human ships opened fire not with their strongest weapons, but with precision strikes. Energy pulses shaped space. Self-bending gravity and time around the DEVO-ERS. That did not destroy them. It slowed them. Impact minimal, Captain Laura Mitchell reported, but movement reduced. That's... "Enough," Reeves replied. Alien commanders stared in disbelief. "They're not trying to win," one said. "They're buying time," another realized. On the surface of the neutral world, General Marcus Hale watched evacuation ships lift into the sky. Alien civilians were leaving first. Human soldiers stayed behind. Sergeant Daniel Brooks helped an injured alien onto a transport. "You should go too," the alien said weakly. Brooks shook his head. "Not yet." In space, the Devourers adapted. Dark tendrils spread outward, striking human ships. Hulls screamed under pressure. Alarms sounded. Damage across the line. Mitchell shouted. Reeves remained steady. Rotate shields. Transfer power. Keep the line intact. A human cruiser took a direct hit. Its engines failed. Without hesitation, 2 other ships moved in front of it, taking the next strikes. Dut's alien observers gasped. "They're sacrificing themselves," Corthan said. "No," Trellix corrected. "They're trusting each other." Human rescue craft swarmed the damaged cruiser. Crews were pulled free seconds before the ship vanished. Into darkness losses. Mounted human losses. Yet the line held deep within human command systems. A final protocol unlocked. Phase 3. Weapons humanity hoped never to use. Reeves hesitated for only a moment. "Authorize Phase 3, he said. New energy signatures appeared. Human ships began emitting controlled pulses, not aimed outward, but inward. The devourers reacted. For the first time, they slowed. "They're hurting it," Mitchell said. "No," Reeves replied. "We're confusing it." Human weapons did not seek destruction. They disrupted patterns. The devourers depended on predictability consumption, movement, feeding. Humanity brought chaos. Alien scientists, what's in? They are attacking its mind. One, whispered. Hours passed. Then something unexpected happened. The devourers changed direction. "They're retreating," a sensor officer shouted. Cheers erupted across alien fleets. Reeves raised his hand. "Hold," he said. The devourers did not flee. They withdrew slowly, carefully. "They're learning," Reeves said. The battle ended not with victory but survival. Human fleets fell back. In controlled order. Alien space was safe. For now. On the ground, evacuation completed. Human soldiers boarded last. General Halle looked at the darkened sky. "We held," he said. "Yes, sir," Brooks replied. "But they'll return." Halle added. Brooks nodded. "We'll be ready." Back in the council chamber, silence filled the room again. Not fear this time. "Respect. High Observer." Trellix addressed the assembly. "Humanity stood where we could not," Trellix said. "They did not ask permission. They did not demand reward." Corthan lowered his head. "We misjudged you," he admitted. Ambassador Carter responded quietly. "We understand. We misjudged ourselves once. 2. The council voted unanimously. Humanity would lead the defense of the galaxy. Not as rulers. As guardians. Admiral Reeves watched the devourers fade from sensors. "This isn't over?" he said. "No," Mitchell replied, "but we proved something." Reeves nodded. So did they. Across the galaxy, one truth became clear. The devourers had met many civilizations. They had never met one that planned to survive. Humanity had not won the battle, but they had changed the war. The galaxy did not celebrate. There were no great songs, no monuments built from gold, no loud victory cries. Instead, there was quiet. A deep, thoughtful quiet that followed survival. Human fleets returned to defensive positions, not home. Damaged ships were repaired in silence. Wounded soldiers were treated beside wounded aliens, with no difference made between them. General Marcus Halle stood on the edge of the neutral world's landing field. Human and alien ships rose into the sky together, side by side. Sergeant Daniel Brooks removed his helmet and looked around. "They're really gone," he said. "For now, Halle," replied. Brooks nodded. "That's enough." Back in space, Admiral Jonathan Reeves faced the Galactic Council one final time. The chamber looked different now. The leaders sat closer together. No one, Argid High Observer Trelix spoke first. The Devourers have retreated, Trelix said. Not destroyed. Not defeated. Reeves nodded. We never expected to destroy them. Then why fight at all? Kurthon asked. Reeves answered calmly. Because if we didn't, no one else could. Silence followed. Humanity had lost ships, lost lives. But the galaxy still stood that mattered over the following cycles. Changes spread across known space. Alien militaries began restructuring not around fear, but discipline. Training shifted from aggression to coordination. Fleets learned to fight as systems, not heroes. They studied human doctrine, human restraint, human preparation. On Earth, the public finally learned the truth about the Devourers, about Bata, about what almost happened. There was fear, but there was also pride. Humanity had done what it always did at its best. They stood when others could not. General Halley returned to Earth briefly. He visited a quiet memorial outside an old training base. Names were carved into stone. Human names. No titles. No ranks, just names. Worth it, Halley said softly. In the council chamber, a proposal was made. Permanent human presence in galactic space. Not as rulers, not as enforcers, not as guardians. Ambassador Eli Carter spoke for humanity. We will stand with you. Eh? To? But we will not command you. Trelix inclined its ancient form. That is why we trust you. Years pass. The Devourers did not return. But humanity did not relax. Human fleets trained constantly. New ships were built not larger, but smarter. Faster coordination. Better defense. Children across alien worlds grew up hearing a new kind of story. Not about conquerors, about humans. The species that arrived quietly. The species that stood in front of the darkness. On one distant world, an alien historian recorded a final entry. They came with weapons? Yes, but they brought control. They brought patience. They brought choice. The historian paused, then added one last line. The universe froze not because humanity was strong, but because humanity chose to be. Back aboard the UN's Resolute, Admiral Reeves prepared to step down from command. Captain Laura Mitchell stood beside him. You changed history, she said. Reeves shook his head. No, we remembered it. He looked at the stars. We've always been here, he said, standing between the dark and the light. Mitchell smiled faintly. Think they'll remember us? Reeves answered without hesitation. They already do, far beyond known space. The Devourers drifted in silence. Patterns shifted. New strategies formed. They had met resistance before. But never this. Never a species. Did that chase? Never. A species that did not panic. Never a species that fought not to win but to protect. For the first time, the Devourers hesitated. And hesitation, in an endless universe, was the beginning of fear. Back in known space, human ships held their quiet watch. No banners. No songs. Just. Readiness. Because humanity understood something the universe was still learning. Strength was not. Domination. Power was not. Cruelty. And heroes did not need crowns. When aliens met Earth's army, the universe froze. But when the universe moved again, it moved behind humanity.